Hi everyone, this is Amanda at Amanda's Booktopia. If you're new here, welcome, and if not, welcome back. And today I have a special collab video for everybody. This is a Thanksgiving related collab that Beccie from GoodReads started, and she got a whole bunch of us involved in this little book recommendation collab video for you. And so I'm going to link everybody who is doing one of these videos in the description so you can check out everyone's videos. This is a special book recommendation based off either the word thanks, thankful, or Thanksgiving, whichever one you wanted to run with, and just do some book recommendations starting with each letter in the word. Like if you wanted to do just thanks, you could just get books that start with each letter in that word, or thankful, or Thanksgiving. I decided to go for the long haul and get books that starts with each letter from the word Thanksgiving. So I got some special recommendations I am very excited to share. And to start off, for the letter T of Thanksgiving, my recommendation for you is A London Seance Society by Sarah Penner. The reason why I'm recommending this one in particular is because I think this is her best book that I've read from her so far. I read The Lost Apothecary, but honestly, London Seance Society is so much better. Like it reads all the historical, all the paranormal, and meshes it together perfectly, in my opinion. And there was stuff that I did not see coming, and it's just so much fun. It's such a fun story. So if you like a good historical paranormal book, this is the one for you. I had a great time, and I really think this book should get more recognition. And then the next letter in Thanksgiving is H. So for this one, I am recommending Heartless Hunter by Christi. I think that's how you pronounce that. And this is a witch and a witch hunter, and it's part of the Crimson Moth series. So I don't want to give anything away. However, it's during a time when witches are being hunted down and killed, and even though it's not a great subject because of all the stuff that happens with witches, but in this book, this witch hunter is trying to locate the Crimson Moth. And so he's trying to hunt the Crimson Moth down and find out who the Crimson Moth really is. It's such a fun story. It gave me very similar vibes to Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. And honestly, this is one of my favorites of the year. I think everybody should read this. It is a YA fantasy. So if you're into YA fantasy, this is a perfect one to start with, in my opinion. And then the next letter in Thanksgiving is A. And for A, I am recommending A Fate Inked in Blood by Danielle L. Jensen. This is my first book from this author, and I absolutely loved it. I did not think I was going to love it as much as I did, because it's a Viking story, and I was never really much into Vikings. However, this one changed my mind. And the romance and the banter, top tier. And everything that happens, they completely took me by surprise. I mean, I did predict one little thing that came true, but it happened in such an amazing way that I didn't mind. It was just so much fun and such a quick read. I honestly thought it was going to take me a while to get through, but I finished it in no time and absolutely loved every single moment. And this girl, the main girl, is a badass. So if you like a good badass female main character, this is the one for you. I really think everybody should be reading this book. It was even on the GoodReads Choice Awards for this year, which I also voted for. And I really hope it wins because it's one of my favorites of the year. And then the next letter in Thanksgiving is N. So for N, I am going to be recommending Never Lie by Frida McFadden. This was my first Frida McFadden book. I read this for the Throws and Chills book club early this year, and I was so amazed, and I was completely taken by surprise at the end. I did not see it coming. Like, it's such a popcorn thriller. One of those you can just, dive right into and not come up for air till the very last page. It was one of my favorites of Frida's that I have read so far. I have a couple of other favorites of hers, but this is probably right up there. Top tier. So, so good. Like, if you have not read Never Lie yet, it has this main character and her husband find themselves at this house. They're at the house to possibly maybe buy the house. They're thinking they're supposed to meet their real estate broker there. And they end up staying overnight in that house and things spiral. And oh my gosh, it was so fun. I really would love to see more people read this book. So if you like Frida and you haven't read Never Lie, please do so and let me know your thoughts, because I thought it was so, so good and I want to hear more people's opinions. And then the next letter in Thanksgiving is K. So for K, I am recommending Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. This was such an amazing read. This is about this girl who's a witch, and she finds out her sister was murdered, and she's trying to solve her murder. And then she summons this demon named Wrath and binds him to her. And he's forced to help her solve her sister's murder. And there's so much magic and so much more to it. Like, the world building in this is outstanding. Like, there was so many amazing parts in this book. I absolutely loved it so, so much. And I love seeing people and their reactions to this book. So if you've read Kingdom of the Wicked, tell me your thoughts in the comments, because I would love to know what you thought of it. I still need to finish the series. I've only read the first 2 books. And I still need to read the spin-off series. But I gotta finish the main series before I can get into the spin-off. So if you've read all the books, tell me your thoughts, because I really want to continue. I probably need to reread to start over from the beginning. But I really think it'd be a great recommendation to try if you like a good YA demon story that has magic and all kinds of fun things. So it's such a good one. So I hope more people read this. And then the next letter in Thanksgiving is S. And for S, I am recommending Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. I mentioned this when I was talking about Heartless Hunter, because they're very, very similar in plot. Because in Serpent and Dove, it's also a witch and a witch hunter. This takes place more in like 1700, something like that. And they're in France. And so it's a different setting. But there's magical realism. And I love the first one so, so much. I also really enjoyed the second. I know it's a very unpopular opinion about the second book, Blood and Honey. But I really think it's good. I mean, I've seen some people say how it's not so good, but in my opinion, I really enjoy Blood and Honey. I still need to finish the series. I need to read Gods and Monsters. However, the first 2, I think, are very interesting and very easy to sink into. And I would love to hear more opinions and I'd love to know if anyone else has the same unpopular opinion as I do about the second book. So if you do, let me know, because I'm definitely interested in hearing about it. Then the next letter in Thanksgiving is G. So for this one, I am doing Girls of Paper and Fire by Natasha Nyong. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. But it's about this girl who gets recruited to be housed with a bunch of other girls, and they're learning how to serve their king as like a courtesan. And there's a lot of fantasy, and there's historical elements. There's a little bit of Chinese folklore in there. There's LGBTQIA in there. It's such a fun story and very easy to follow. I still need to read the 3rd book in the series. I read the first 2. And it's so much fun. And the tension between the main character and her love interest, and like all the banter and everything that's going on, is a very easy world to lose yourself in. And I really enjoy the first two. So I need to finish the series. Maybe I need to do a video finishing series. Because I have a lot of series to finish. But I highly recommend trying Girls of Paper and Fire if you haven't. And if you have read it, definitely let me know what you thought. And then the next letter in Thanksgiving is I. So I'm going with Identity by Nora Roberts. I actually did a book talk on my channel. It's a video that I did with my fiance, Ray, talking about this book. So if you want to hear more of my thoughts, go find that video. It's farther back on my channel. I know it's been a while since I've done a book talk with my fiance, Ray. We need to do another one because those were fun. But we talked about this book, Identity, and we both really enjoyed the story. It's about this girl who loses her parents. She has this connection to the murderer that killed her parents through her mind, telepathically. She could, see him and speak to him at times, and it's a very interesting romantic suspense. Nora Roberts is very well known for writing romantic suspense, and this one was definitely a good one. I gave this 4 stars. But if you want to hear more of my in-depth thoughts, and my fiancé Ray's in-depth thoughts, go find that video. Or if it makes it easier, I'll just link it down below for you guys. Maybe I'll do that. That way, if you want to go check out all of our thoughts, it'll be in the description for you guys to go check out. And then the next letter in Thanksgiving is V. So for this one, I am recommending Verity by Colleen Hoover. I know so many people are not really fans of Colleen Hoover, but the ones that have read Verity say this is her best one. And I am with those people. I really do think Verity is her best book. I think she should write more thrillers. I do like some of her romances. However, thrillers, I think, seems to be a genre she's really good in. Now, I'd love to see Colleen Hoover do more thrillers. Because Verity is such a twist. You're either team manuscript or team letter. And I would love to know what side you are on in the description. I want to know what people think of Verity. I don't want to talk too much about it because it totally gives everything away. But if you haven't yet read Verity by Colleen Hoover, I highly recommend it. It's definitely her best book out of everything she's written. So Colleen Hoover, if you are watching this, we need more thrillers from you because Verity is by far the best. And I really think more people should be reading Verity. If you haven't yet, I highly recommend. And I actually have the edition with the extra chapter in it. And the extra chapter is very interesting. I know you can also find the extra chapter on Reddit. So if you don't want to buy the special edition with the extra chapter, you can find the extra chapter on Reddit. So if you've read the extra chapter, let me know your thoughts because I'm definitely interested. And then the next letter in Thanksgiving is another I. So for this one, I am going with Inkblood Sister Scribe by Emma Torres. This I read, I think it was last year when I first attempted to do my own version of a book club. This was my book club pick for last year. Unfortunately, that book club kind of fizzled out, but I started a new one with my friend Clint. So I'm thinking a new one might be more successful. But I did read Ink Plus as described last year, and I really had a decent, fun time with it. I think I gave it 4 stars. It's about these 2 sisters. One has to come back and help her sister to protect these books because it's a magical library of sorts, or these books are magical, and they have to stay locked up, or they have to stay hidden away for a reason. So this girl's sister comes back to help her after their father passed. And things spiral and things go all over the place in this book. It's more of a character-driven book than plot. So if you like character-driven stories, this might be the one for you. I did like a couple of the characters. And it was a very interesting storyline. I did really like it. I just didn't... Well, there were parts here and there that I was like, huh? But overall, it was a very fun story, and I would love to hear people's thoughts if people like this book. But I haven't heard very many people talk about this book for like a year now. So if you've read it, definitely let me know. And then the next letter in Thanksgiving is another N. So for this one, I'm going with Nevermore by Jessica Townsend. This is a middle grade fantasy. It's very similar to Harry Potter. But in this one, we're following a girl also at the age of 11, I think, just like Harry Potter. And she's supposed to die, but she doesn't. And she gets, this is basically in the plot. So it's not, in the summary. So it's not giving anything away, I promise. She ends up being recruited to this school called Nevermore. And she has to pass all these tests to stay in the school. It's like a magical school. It's very similar to Harry Potter. So I really enjoyed the story because of how similar it is to Harry Potter. And then I still need to continue that series as well. I read the first one. I just have not continued. I really do need to because I really enjoy Nevermore. The first one takes you on a tale, and it just, like, so much happens. I don't want to give anything away. But if you have not yet read Nevermore and you like Harry Potter, you might want to read Nevermore because it's very, very similar. And I would love to hear people's thoughts on it as well. And now for the last letter of Thanksgiving is another G. So for my last recommendation for you is Gallant by V.E. Schwab. This is a YA dark and gothic story. And I really had a good time with this. This girl is being raised in a school for girls, and she gets a letter from home saying that she inviting her to come home to be with the family. And so she goes home, and turns out nobody sent her that letter. Nobody knows what she's talking about. But she ends up staying in this house with some of her family. And weird things are happening in this house. And I don't want to give too much away. But things really take off in this one. And I had so much fun with it. I think I read this, I can't remember, it was last year or the year before. It's been a while since I read it, but I remember loving it. So if you haven't yet read Gallant and you like dark gothic stories and you don't mind a YA twist on it, this is a very good book to read for that. It really had me in a chokehold. I really could not put it down. It was really that good. I thought it was a great story. And I really enjoyed V.E. Schwab's writing. I did read Addie LaRue, but I wasn't crazy about that ending. But then again, I'm not a fan of open endings. However, that's another discussion for another video. However, I have really enjoyed V.E. Schwab's writing in general. So if you like V.E. Schwab, and you haven't read Gallant yet, I highly recommend you do so. And that is all the books I have for recommendations for the word Thanksgiving. Have you read any of these? Have you not yet read them yet, but you want to? Tell me all your thoughts down below. I want to hear what everyone thinks of these books if you have read them. If not, tell me which one catches your fancy. And I would love to know if you end up picking up one of these books because of my recommendation. So tell me all the things down in the comments. So if you like this recommendation video, give me a huge thumbs up. If you want to see more bookish content from me, make sure you smash the subscribe button down below. And I will see you all in the next one.